American, and it should cause all of us to rise up and say enough. Let me be clear. I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on just about everything. But I rise tonight not in spite of those differences, but in a real sense because of those differences. I rise to say that he had a right to speak, to think, to change his mind or not, to engage with others, to participate in the free exchange of ideas, to argue it out. That is what it means to live in a democracy. That is who we are. We Americans engage in loud, heated, and sometimes rambunctious debates, not as a precursor to violence, but to avoid violence. And we must learn to disagree without becoming violently disagreeable. Let me be clear. There is nothing more anti-democratic than political violence.
That was Senator Raphael Warnock yesterday from the Florida House, gave a 10-minute sermon, brothers. You don't have to agree with the senator, but he did a wonderful job. I was getting ready. I know. He did a wonderful job. It really was 10 minutes long. If you have a chance, just go to his page. I know if you don't agree with him, that's not the point. That is not the point. But he that was just a clip. It was magnificent what he said on the floor of the House. Bernie Sanders had some wonderful things to say. The president even talked about everyone not responding with violence. Not as, of course, the president wasn't so eloquent as the Reverend, but it doesn't matter. The words that are being spoken by our leadership. I do believe this car that I talked about the other night being on a cliff and tipping over, I do believe leadership, elected officials can tip that car back. I do believe that. But we don't need to be banning people for life for vile statements on social media. We don't need to do that. That tips it back over. But that was Senator Warnock. It was great 10-minute speech. It was a sermon, actually. It really was. Like I said, it doesn't matter whether you agree with him, you voted for him or not. It was wonderfully spoken, and you just heard a clip of it. I don't want to, I'll do it after 36. We'll talk about the books when we come back. Let's take some calls. Let's see here. Let's go to Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Shelley, just a few quick snippets. You were talking earlier about the freedom of speech. You don't think, people should be fired. My only argument is, if somebody's in a position of power, with teaching your students, even teaching college students, where they can fail you, they can, make or break your grades. If someone's in a position of power, they should not be able to make, hateful comments like that looks like it's political and geared towards that. That's my biggest take on the freedom of speech.
See, so that's the thing, though. Who's to determine that, Robert? When you go on social media and post someone could see something you post as vile and call your boss and say, look what Robert posted. Why is he working for you? You see what I'm saying?
But celebrating death, and to me, that's just like over the top. And so I understand where you're coming from about freedom of speech and having the right, and I totally agree with you. I just don't think, and if you think somebody who, like you said, is a Nazi, they can go out in public square and
the problem that I have
that's
with
their
this,
right.
No, but the problem I have with what you're saying is that who's going to determine what's vile? Do you see what I'm saying? Because clearly there's a number of people on social media who agree with what we are calling vile statements, and we can both prove that they're vile statements, but there are a bunch of people who are reading those statements and saying, no, that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'd rather than go down that road of who's going to determine what's vile and not vile, and who's going to
professing Nazism in a public square.
Well, let's take
And you find
Nazism
out they're
away.
a teacher,
Right,
and you
but
find out they're a teacher.
let's take Nazism out of it because that's too easy. I know I use that as an example. Take that out of it. Let's talk about what we're talking about now. The response to someone's death.
Yeah. And to think that somebody feels that strongly about it, where, they're so vile and disgusting in their celebration, to think, if they're teaching your kids, to think that that's not going to somehow spill over in that classroom.
I get it.
With those kids, it would be naive. That would be very naive.
What I'm saying is there are people that don't believe it's vile and naive and vile and disgusting. That's my point. You say it's vile and disgusting. I say it's vile and disgusting. But there are a number of people who don't think it's vile and disgusting. You see what I'm saying?
Because they don't know God, I think.
That's even something else. Someone else could say, well, what's God got to do with it? You see what I'm saying? I don't believe in God,
Yeah.
And so, like with Matthew Dowd, I don't think Matthew Dowd should have been fired from MSNBC. Because Matthew Dowd, to this point, has no clue that he said anything wrong. Like, seriously, I saw an interview with him. He's saying that, like, I should have known better. He's like, but how could I have known better? I didn't say anything wrong. So in Matthew Dowd's mind, he said nothing to be fired from MSNBC. And he actually said they're cowing to the far right-wing media. So he doesn't even think he said anything.
That I believe that they are carrying to the far right.
Right, and so in his mind, he's like, why did I get fired? I was just on there to comment on my opinion on this guy. And so he didn't see anything vile about it. It's just, I don't want anybody to be determining what is vile and what is not. I know you.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? That's just my point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And that's not to say the things that are being said are not vile. I'm just saying I don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Great
just real
call.
quick, the only thing, Shelley, really? Oh, God. Cut me off, dude.
I gotta go. We gotta go to break. I didn't cut you off. The clock did. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I just want to say something. I can say it to you off the air if you like. That's fine.
Okay, hold on. We'll be right back. It's the Shelley Winter Show. Oh, man. Okay, we'll be right back. Everybody, we got a bunch of calls. Okay, we'll be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Live from the Superior Planning Studios. News,
Weather.
traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news
anything but for premium local farm fresh sod that comes with a 1-year guarantee. Family owned and operated, NG Turf is the only grower to consider. NG Turf sells direct to homeowners. Get your sod from a certified turf professional at ngturf.com.
Having trouble getting in to see the doctor? Wait no longer. All Care is here. All Care is expert immediate care and primary care under a single roof, offering convenience and continuity for your healthcare needs at 15 Atlanta area locations. And best of all, we are fully staffed and ready for you when you need us. Same-day appointments are available and walk-ins are welcomed. Or schedule an appointment at allcare-ga.com. Say goodbye to waiting to see the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Integrated Network Clinic.
I'm going to teach you some physics. In a great big wind, the bigger and flatter the object, the more force the wind creates. Surface area times the square of the hypotenuse times wind speed divided by E equals MC squared, or some kind of math. It doesn't matter. But when storm season hits, your garage door is just standing there waiting for wind and physics to break it or dent it or send a whole thing flying down the street. And that, my friends, is science. At Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better. Modern wind-rated doors are built to withstand the forces of nature. Composite materials are stronger than the cheap old aluminum door that came with your house. And the tracks and rollers won't bend under the stress. It keeps your car safe and your insurance premiums low. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're ready. And stay in school, kids. MoBetterGarage.com.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Joe, before I get to these calls, I do want to say something else. One more thing. I believe, after the last 2 days of watching Governor Spencer Cox of Utah, I believe there's going to be another name in the hat in 2028. It's my opinion, not an endorsement, just my opinion. He was very, very, very strong. Very strong. And he took command of those press conferences as the governor. He literally took command. Pushed the FBI to the side, pulled in his sheriffs. He took command and he showed leadership, real leadership. And he said all the right things at the right moments. He didn't blame left or right. He blamed the social media. He blamed the culture, which is everybody, all of us. Very strong. Don't be surprised if you start hearing his name bandied about for 2028. He is someone to pay attention to. It's my humble opinion, my friends. Don't get mad at me, but he is someone to pay attention to. He seemed very, very strong and came out of nowhere. Just, a tragedy happened and he stepped up to the plate and showed some real leadership. I was impressed. And if you're being honest with yourselves, he was very impressive. Keep that name, Spencer Cox, governor of Utah. Could be throwing his hat in the ring for president. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, I'll be quick, Shelley. I'll preface my question quickly. We've recently had two 20-somethings attempt to assassinate a president and literally assassinate another person over free speech. And going online this week, we can see that millions, if not tens of millions of people wholeheartedly agree with it and are happy about it. Which brings me to how long before start attacking people at these events? To me, it seems like we're in a war and we're ignoring it, and I feel like we're pushing a civil war onto my kids by thinking we can reason our way out. I mean, I can go on a cooking page right now on Facebook, and there'll be 80 comments on there from people 18 to 80 absolutely condoning the assassination over speech.
Right, and what we have to do is we have to disassociate ourselves and not push the war. If you think there's a war, a civil war about that, then the war has to be fought between two people. If you decide not to engage, then there's no war. There's no war. What do you gain from having an argument on a cooking page about Charlie Kirk
You know how you feel about it. Don't engage. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Let's get off of social media and not engage. You know, I've been in relationships with women since I was, first girlfriend was around 12, 13 years old. When I say girlfriend, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're my girlfriend, right? We weren't doing nothing. I'm 13 years old, right? But I've been involved with women my entire life, right? One thing I know for a fact, and this may sound sexist, but every single man out there and every single woman who's being honest with herself knows what I'm about to say is the God's honest truth. The fact of the matter is, if you engage a woman in a disagreement and or argument, she's fueled by your going back and forth. She's fueled by that, right? She wants it. You know what I mean? She is. I mean, this is from experience, right? But what I learned over the course of my lifetime is as soon as you step back and shut your mouth and sit down, they will get more mad. They will get more angry. They will tell you you're not listening to them. You don't care about their feelings. But eventually, they will stand down and walk away. A baby is the same way. A baby will cry, feed me, pay attention to me, do what I want you to do, pick me up, hold me, da-da-da. When you get tired of that, and look at my mom used to do this to me all the time. Not all the time, but when I just got out of hand and threw these fits, my mom would be like, okay, I'm going down to my room. You can stay there and cry all night if you want to. I cry. I realize that she's not paying attention anymore. She doesn't care anymore, and I'll stop and go down the hall and do what I was continue doing what I was doing. That's what we have to do now. As the right, with better ideas, better policies, better thoughts, better opinions, more logical opinions, we have to not engage. If we don't engage, there is no civil war. That's my advice.
Well, hopefully it's a blip in the matrix, and this kind of doesn't escalate any further. Because I can tell you, if innocent Americans start getting shot at these kind of events, it's gonna really.
Yeah, and that's if that's
maybe start a ball rolling that can't be stopped.
If that happens, then we're in a different area. Do you know what I mean? But right now, don't engage. Don't engage. Great call,
I
Bill.
appreciate it.
Great call,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Yes, sir. Great call. Let's go to break real quick, Mike. Come back, have more time, take some calls, and I have to talk about these AI books. As a matter of fact, when we come back, I'll talk about the AI books, then we'll finish out these calls, and then